Well, today's a big day for the FJ Cruiser. I'm gonna do a mod today that is the most recognized, loved, and hated mod that exists. It's the Snorkel. Snorkels look cool. I mean, everyone's got to admit that snorkels look cool. And a lot of people say, well, a snorkel is kind of dumb because it's not totally waterproof. You still can't drive through 10 feet of water. Well, that's true. But they do prevent water intrusion into the engine. True. But the number one reason I really want a snorkel is for dust. If we look at my air filter here, I drive in a lot of dusty environments. So really, I'm hoping to get the intake above the dust and hopefully be a little better for that. And when I drive through water and I don't have to worry quite as much about sucking water into the engine, that's great too. As an added bonus, I'm going to be able to cover up this pinstriping. I'm going to try to film this all the way through so you can just kind of watch me taking parts and putting parts on and drilling, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, the first step was to get this air box out of the way. Just 3 bolts holding it in. No big deal there. So I'm going to set that aside. Next I'm going to remove the splash guard down here. That thing was held in by an unreal number of plastic clips and screws. All the plastic clips broke, so I'm gonna have to get replacements for those. So this is the intake air duct. This is where all the air goes into your air filter. Right by the wheel. That doesn't seem like the best thing. You can see mud splatter right there where the air's coming in. Well, the air's coming in there, but close. It's definitely dirt and things in the area. This air intake duct adapter has to go as well. There it is, gone. So this will be the new air intake duct. It'll go from where the snorkel is here into the air box, like that. We've got to shave some of this plastic off of here so that the new duct can go over this opening. So got to shave this little piece off right here. I just shaved all these little ribs off so that the new air intake duct can go over this intake smoothly. You can see how much dust is in this intake. Pretty crazy. All right, now we get to do the really fun stuff. We get to put on the template, mark up the side of the vehicle, and start drilling holes. Put it in the right direction would be helpful. Lining up the template is pretty self-explanatory. There's a nice corner here, straight down the panel here, straight on the top here, straight on the top right here. Not too difficult. Next, we just got to take a marker and mark these holes. Next, use a step drill to enlarge all these holes to 16 millimeters. Wow, that's not working very well. So don't drill a hole bigger than your pilot drill, because that leads to a very ugly hole. I didn't leave my center hole small enough, so I kind of ruined the whole concept of the hole saw because I can't hold it centered, and so it just bounces all over the place. So I just need to make a hole that's 105 millimeters around, and then I'm gonna paint it, and then it's covered up. So gonna have to try an alternative method. All right, we got a hole. Well, it's not the prettiest hole, but at the end of the day, it'll work. I'll just touch it up, and it'll be good. It's Monday morning. I actually started this project on a Saturday night, but it was getting late. I had to stop because I needed some new plastic trim pieces that I picked up this morning to reinstall our splash guard. And I also needed to pick up some thread locker for these studs on the snorkel body, which I didn't have. So I needed those things. It was getting late on Saturday, so here we are Monday morning to continue our snorkel install. The instructions say to just make these finger tight, because they're going to get tightened when you are tightening the nuts on them anyways. So for now, finger tight on those is just fine. The next step is installing this upper mounting bracket onto the snorkel body so that we can get the holes lined up on the body and drill those holes. All right, next we'll throw some masking tape up on here. So next, just position the snorkel body on the vehicle. At this point, it's not tightened down, so there's some play here. So I guess I'm just going to try to get the snorkel body in kind of a middle of its play position, and then mark the holes where I need to make them up here on the pillar. We got our marks up here. And we got to drill those out to 8 millimeters. I'll use my step drill to get it to exactly 8 millimeters. I don't have metric drill sizes. Throw a little touch-up paint in these holes so we don't get any rust. All right, now that paint's pretty dry, we got these plastic inserts to put in these holes that I just drilled for screws to go into. This bracket's gonna come off the snorkel body and go onto the pillar, and then we'll mount the snorkel to it after it's on the vehicle. This snorkel side of the bracket has adjustable, or it has space for adjustment in these holes, where these holes are just round holes with no adjustment. So that's why we do it like that. Next step is actually attaching the snorkel body to the vehicle finally. I am of course going to install everything hand tight and then tighten down. Looking at the airbox again, there is this big drain right here. This was actually packed with dirt. So, and this rubber cover goes over it. And I think I actually will seal this up. All right, I've got the new air duct here installed between the snorkel, and I put in the new air box. Not the new air box, the old air box, but with the new duct in between. I just got to tighten up the clamps. One clamp on the air box and one clamp on the snorkel. And one final step. All right, I got the snorkel installed. Overall, the job wasn't that difficult. As you saw, I did have some difficulty with the large intake hole there. It got really crazy there and it looked really messy, but after I cleaned it up and touched it up with some paint, it's not going to be an issue, and you certainly can't tell that I didn't drill a perfect hole saw hole right here after the snorkel is on. And even with the snorkel off, you couldn't tell. It's a pretty good circle. So not really a big deal. There's a lot of fear and negative feelings about drilling holes in your fender and in your pillar here, but it's just sheet metal. It's not rocket science. It's really not that big a deal. So I like how it looks. I think it'll function really well based on installing it and knowing the air path now through that sealed duct from the snorkel to the intake box. I just want to reiterate, this is where the air was going in before. And you can see this big mud spatter right here, and it's covered in dirt. The air box was full of dirt. The part where the air swirls into the box, it was packed with, the drain was packed with dirt. A lot of dirt. Not really a clean source of air. So this is going to be a lot cleaner, and it's totally sealed into the box. So I think it'll be a lot better. If you're thinking about installing a snorkel, if you want a snorkel, don't be afraid of doing it. It's really not a difficult job, and drilling holes really isn't a big deal. Get some touch-up paint and just go for it. It can't go any worse than it went for me, and the end result is perfectly great. So don't be afraid, just go ahead and do it.